Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome back to the Hangin with Web show. I'm GW Pomichter. Thank you so much for showing up, just for being here. You should get like a trophy or one of those certificates just for coming to the YouTube channel.
I get a trophy every day for waking up and getting out of bed. True story.
He's a very busy guy, so just that he gets up in the morning and does it again, that's like, you know.
It's an achievement. It is. Right?
It is.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. So, guys, we're hanging out right now. We are down at the Foxwood Wine Company in the O'Galley Arts District because we realized that artists and creative minds
need to drink.
Will open up to us more on set if we give them a few glasses of wine and it loosens them up a little bit. They sing, they dance. That's all just what Chuck did before we turned the camera on. I don't know what was going on. It was just a thing.
True story.
You guys can check out his Facebook Live videos because he's always...
If I walked in here naked and they gave me this shirt, they didn't want to interview me without any clothes on.
It was a thing. I don't know. It's something about the codes or something.
It's
a wine
summer.
bar.
It's hot out there, right?
It is hot out there, man. We're just coming off of IndieCon. Inaugural IndieCon 2019.
Yes, we are.
Tons of music, tons of art, tons of just... First of all, great job, guys.
Well, thank you.
Really, super job. We really enjoyed ourselves out there.
Well, thank you for coming, supporting the cause. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no, man, it's just a buffet of creativity. I mean, you surrounded yourself with the most amazing creative artists.
It was meticulously planned and hand-picked. For the first one, we knew it had to be good because we won't have a number two. So we went and found who we thought were the best authors around here, who were the best filmmakers, who were the best musicians, really. We had 8 amazing bands, and every one of them was just stellar. You just talked to Liz Johnson.
Yeah,
Steve Hodak was in here this morning.
Steve Hodak was in here this morning.
Anya and the Dreamers.
Yeah, and Steve was amazing because he's got his fingers in so many pies, and he's working with so many creative artists.
Yeah. Well, what he does for the community, for what he does for local bands, he's more of an inspiration than anything. A lot of people are ready to give up before they meet Steve, and Steve just gives them that little nudge. Keep doing what you're doing. You're on the right track.
A creative arts career of any kind, whether it's your side career, your main career, whatever it is, this is a battle of attrition.
Yeah. Because
so many fall by the wayside. Yeah. You know, if they don't get, if your first song is not a gold record, you're automatically like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm going home. I'm going back to being a plumber.
That's unfortunately true.
It really is. And guys like Steve they're helping these kids to see, look, it's a battle every day. You have to get up and create and do the work.
The industry's changing so much too, as you know. I mean, there's no more like super bands and mega labels and everything. Everything's kind of fringe now, you know. You do one song instead of a whole EP. You get on Spotify rather than sell tracks on iTunes. I mean, everything's just really changing, and nobody really knows where it's headed, and nobody really knows how to make any money doing this.
How do you react to that? How do I make money? Because it is, like you said, in the old days, it was, find a label, put out an EP. We were just talking to somebody, drive from radio station to radio station, handing out albums, right? Today, everybody wants a top 40 station, or everybody's a specific niche.
Right.
And so how do you survive those changes as an indie artist? And things like IndieCon, things that you guys are working on, those are critical parts of that formula. Because if we're going to survive as an arts community, we got to help each other.
Well, that's the thing.
Nobody else is going to do it.
That's true. And that's the whole part of IndieCon. There really was no outlet for independent musicians, authors, filmmakers, and next year will be even more. I can't even talk about all the crazy things we're going to do next year. But there really was no outlet for them to showcase everything all in one place. Because we really are connected. We're in different...
Oh, yeah. I've never met a filmmaker that didn't need a musician.
Right.
Or a writer that didn't think, hey, I need to do a teaser for my book. Or
somebody's got to write the stories before they become films, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's all connected on some level. But we don't use those connections because we're so used to being segregated into our categories, right? And so it's like, I think, when you and I first talked the very first time, it's, you're a multiple published author, you're a radio personality and a voice actor. You cross into all these disciplines.
I sing too, you know.
I didn't know that.
I have a country music act.
You do?
But it's terrible.
At least he's honest. Because I could have used that very same sentence. I could have said those words, but it would have been a lie because anyone who's ever heard me even sing to the radio has people on the street in front of my car ask me to shut up.
Wow.
It's bad.
No, it couldn't be that bad.
It truly is.
Not worse than me. But having done all those...
I've seen him on Facebook Live, so there's a chance I might be worse, but he's trying real hard to get caught up.
Can you dance?
I cannot.
No,
I think I might be able to, but I don't.
I'm the world's worst dancer. We should have a dance-off, you and I, for
two,
charity.
Why are you two so anxious to jump onto the He Can't Dance bandwagon?
What do you think?
Really upset. What?
Me and you will have a dance-off for charity.
Yes, dancing with the not-so-stars.
With Jeremy Holm from House of Cards and some other people, some other celebrities, but they're too busy. Too busy. What about Cliff? Can Cliff dance?
I can dance if I want to.
I think...
Which is why he left his friends behind.
I can dance if I want to. There's a song there somewhere.
Yeah, there's something someone wrote once. Yeah.
S-S-S-S-A.
So, I mean, this year's IndieCon was what an educational experience, putting on something.
It was educational for me.
I mean, yeah, because
we made a tremendous amount of mistakes, but it went off pretty well.
I mean, you did. I mean, because you brought music, and books and films, and I mean. We had actors and actresses running all over the place from our indie community. It was
models.
I mean, you brought a little bit of every art, and you really demonstrated that it is, as you said, a community.
It is.
We go together. It really does. Lots of learning curve in there, though.
Yeah, man.
Because no one does that. No one says, "Hey, let's get every artistic type that I know and put them in one room."
It's the first time I've ever heard of this being done. So I said, Jake Estrada and I, who helped me put this thing together, we partnered up on this, and we're like, let's just do it and see what happens. We'll make some mistakes. We'll take our licks on year 1, year 2. We'll get it perfect. Awesome. And that's what we're working on right now.
Awesome. Well, you know what? From what we saw, it was an amazing event. I know the artists enjoyed being there, and you guys set something up that was really neat. It's because as a part of IndieCon, you ran sort of the indie talent competition.
Right.
So you gave writers and filmmakers and musicians a chance to enter to win an award for their song or their book or whatever. Coveted, by the way. Any author that can use the words award-winning does. Any
entertainer, any creative type, yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
A lot of movie people say that they don't get noticed until they get those laurels on the credits of their movies.
It's true.
For some reason, they have a lot more weight in film than they do in anything else. But you're right. I mean, once you say award-winning, it kind of opens some doors for you.
Well, people want to know what award. Yeah. Why did you win it?
Yeah,
and then so they go looking, and whether they gravitate toward the particular award or not, they just going looking. That's half the battle. Getting people to look at your art. There's when the first time you hit publish, if you're indie published, the first time you hit published, I encourage you all to do this just to put yourself in check. Look at your author or your book ranking on the first day, when you first hit publish.
Yeah.
Because you'll find out that you thought you were awesome, but you're ranked now at 37,621,006, and just get used to it.
Don't look.
Don't look. After that. Don't look for like a year.
Yeah.
And when you're up in the 1 million, you'll be like, yes, I creeped up. So aside from IndieCon 2020, what else you got coming, man? What are you working on? Your brain is always going.
The mastermind, Jake Estrada, who runs the Space Coast Comic-Con, he came up with some ideas, and we were talking after IndieCon, and you're like, you know what? We could do this, apply this formula to a bunch of other things.
There's a lot of stuff there. You and I talked a little bit about some of the things that could happen.
Absolutely.
I mean, we have to, as a creative arts community, we have to figure out that we are a community.
Right.
It's not a competition between musicians and authors and filmmakers. We're a collaboration. If we come together, IndieCon is an example of what we can accomplish.
Right.
But there's so much.
Yeah, there's a tremendous amount of things going on.
Just get them all to work together. It's like herding wet cats, dude. I did not envy your process.
It was heavy. It took 6 months of long hour days to pull all that together, but in the end it worked out really well. Just a really great bunch of people, and everybody showed up, which is an achievement in itself,
Amen to that.
Especially for indies.
If you guys have ever organized anything where you had to get more than one creative artist in a room.
An independent creative artist.
Artists. They don't have managers and agents and all these people following around with clipboards. You have to call them on the phone and say, we want you at this place at this time.
Yeah.
And then you have to call them back again and again.
A lot of follow-up. Yep.
That's right. And I mean, that's an accomplishment, and it was a great day. We just had the Spring in here.
I saw them on the way out.
They performed a little bit, and then they came on and sat down. And what was great about them was we were talking, they played their set, and then they played us all out. Like, they played us while we were doing loadout.
Oh, yeah,
They just kept playing and playing and playing. I was like, thank God they're here, because after a full day, I'm sure we're all just like...
Yeah, when it's quiet, it gets really awkward.
Yeah, you're like, oh. Yeah, and then you want to talk about, like, how was the day? At this point, none of us know, because all we're thinking is we want to go home.
Yeah.
And, you know, Chuck and I are just a little older than some of the acts.
Hey, speak for yourself.
A little bit.
I'm
just
31.
a little. He's 31 for the 4th time in this month. So, okay, man, voice acting.
Yeah, man.
What are you doing, man? Dude, you did our spot for the radio hour, and I was looking at just the people who were coming in and things, and I was like, dude, one of the very few artists that I've seen use the internet effectively.
Yeah, it's hard.
You know, it's
a lot of mistakes. To figure that out for sure.
There you go. And so, how's it going? You got any projects going on yourself, or?
Well, yes. I have a ton of voiceover work coming on. Suddenly, I've been rediscovered. It's been quiet for a while. I did really well about 10 years ago. I was full-time voice.
Yeah, no, you were killing it, yeah.
Yeah, and then I dropped out of it. I owned a computer repair store for a couple of years, helping a friend out, and we finally closed that. Because nobody buys computers, they buy iPads now. iPads break, you throw them away.
Which is really weird, because they're expensive, and you still throw them away.
Yeah, I still throw them away.
It's really weird.
Disposable economy. So I got back into it. We're starting to rise up again. I'm doing a lot of stuff on Sirius XM as an announcer.
Awesome.
I'm on Hair Nation. Hopefully a couple other channels will open up real soon. I just did this big music conference in Slovenia.
Slovenia.
Yeah, it's there's thousands of people. There's big EDM conference, so I do all the announcements there.
Awesome.
So a lot of people are catching on to that, and I'm starting to do all these other conferences. So the voiceover stuff's doing real well.
That's great, man.
I've done audio books for my own books. I wrote 17 books. I'm starting to convert some of those to audio books. The audiobooks take a long. Have you ever done an audio? You're an author too.
I am. I've had an audiobook done.
Yeah.
I've had a voice come in and do it.
Oh my goodness! You sit hours and hours.
It is. Sage actually did audio for some children's books, and just like a 25-page audio for a children's book is
like a week.
It is. It's crazy.
It's insane.
And you're doing a paragraph at a time, and you're trying to get it just right. And so especially children's books too, because accents and characters and it's it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And to do a novel, to be doing novels, man.
Yeah, months. We're talking months, and
that's crazy.
Sage knows what's up.
They were called my voice was calling me on my first book, like a chapter at a time.
Yeah.
And the first book was really easy, because it was a noir crime novel. So I'm just like, look, I just want you to go back and watch like old movies, and then just deliver that deadpan noir voiceover.
Yeah.
Just do it in and so that was easy. Then we got into my last book, which is more of a near future dystopian thing, and I just wanted a little more whatever, and that was daunting. First of all, it's bigger and longer, which takes longer, and secondly, it was just there's so many different characters and different styles and whatever. It was. The one thing I did love was he sent me a track that was, I did the speech at the end of the book, and I have a female president, and my narrator was male, and he sent me the speech, and he said, hey, I'm going to send you this speech. I want you to tell me what you thought of it. I swear to God, I thought it was a woman.
Really?
It was just
That's really hard
the voice
to do.
that he used, and then he made the adjustments in his software to pitch adjustments and speed, so that it sounded like the natural voice of a woman. And I went,
I can't do
oh
it.
my God, that's insane. And I was like, how did you do that? He's like, look, about 3 tweaks. And I'm like, can you show me? He's like, no. That's why I
Trade
did
secret.
this. That's right. I'm not telling you that. And I'm like, wow, that was awesome though. That's our shut up card, because we're hanging out. Guys, we're hanging out with Chuck Fresh, the organizer from IndieCon 2019. Soon going to be IndieCon 2020 coming up. Check out, it is Indie Music Live.
The website's indieoriginals.org.
IndieOriginals. That's right. IndieOriginals.org. Check them out, guys. We love what we're doing for indie music right now, because what podcasting did 10 years ago for talk radio, there's only a handful of us out there that are trying to do it for music radio.
Yeah.
And giving these indie guys a chance to reach a larger audience, and it's awesome. So check out Chuck online, check the links down below. I want to thank our friends at Famous Faces and Funnies, Rick Shea and the team over there, always so supportive. Space Coast Comics, Jake Estrada, who is not here on the chair today, which means he must be really super uber busy and or sleeping, trying to stay away from Chuck and I.
Smart move.
That might be a smart move. Obviously, Chuck at IndieCon 2020. Jay Bauer Art for all the art that's on our walls of the set here. Embellish Effects in Orlando, Florida. Foxwood Wine Company for letting us come in and turning part of their shop into a television studio for a little while. We want to thank our good friend Bea over at Hearts Helping Others of Central Florida. And she's doing amazing stuff over there, man. Yeah. She's gathering up, like she's getting ready to start a toy drive for next Christmas.
Nice.
But because she's trying to gather toys for teens, you know,
for teens. That's tough.
That's hard because teens always want those pricey things.
Yeah.
So she's doing that. Thank you so much for all your work, Bea. And our friends over at Krypton Radio, thank you so much. Guys, stay tuned in and stay logged on because you never know who we're hanging with next. Awesome. Thank you so much, Chuck. Thank you. Wow.